Have you ever seen those special TV shows or movies? You know the ones that are so wonderfully, unintentionally bad, but they bring you so much joy and captivate you, but for all the wrong reasons.
Well, we here at B-Watch Rewatch absolutely live for these underdog gems.
So buckle up, Busters, and please allow us,
Colin
and Cadence, a sibling duo who share a passion for such cinematic excellence, to take you on a wild ride through all the TV shows and movie plots you never knew you needed to hear.
Howdy. How's everyone doing? It's Colin.
It's Cadence.
Spice it up a little bit with that intro.
Hey,
yeah, howdy. You got to tell me if I'm getting too, because I'm sitting on my floor. So you got to tell me if I'm if it sounds too far away. Sorry, this is technical jargon. You guys, you common listeners wouldn't know about it. This is behind the scenes.
You wouldn't know, but it's a term called too far away from the microphone.
Too far away from the mic. It's up there with razzing. I don't know if you heard that one. Today we're doing. I always want to build up this big thing. We're doing Pee-wee's Big Adventure, right? That's the movie we're doing today. I always want to do this, like, we'll give clues and you have to guess and we'll list up. I just want to dive into it because I, growing up, did not watch Pee-wee. I had no context for his humor. I mean, obviously I had seen clips of, but I really had no idea what his humor was like and what this movie would be. So it was kind of an all-new experience, I guess.
Yeah, I have some memories of watching Pee-wee's Playhouse growing up, but our TV situation was unpredictable. And sometimes we had TV, sometimes we didn't, sometimes whatever. So it's like but even that, I think Pee-wee's Playhouse would have had to have come after this movie, right?
Yeah, it would have had to have come. It did come after this movie. And I didn't know this, and I don't think we knew this when we chose this movie, but it was like very successful and people really genuinely like loved it. There's some childhood trauma scare parts in it that we'll get to, but other than that, it's like people really liked it, and it got him 2 other movies after this and the Pee-wee's Playhouse.
Oh, okay. So that's what I was not sure about the timeline, and I guess I could have looked it up, but I didn't think about it before. But I think growing up, I was always under the assumption that the show came first, and so that the movie was like based on the show. So it's interesting that that's not how it works. Yeah, it is kind of interesting.
But I learned that Pee-wee's Playhouse, the TV show that came after Pee-wee's Big Adventure, the whole start of this whole thing was Paul Rubin had like a comedy live show with like sets and everything, and it got very successful, and so that's kind of how it got put into this movie. I didn't know that this was Tim Burton's first movie directing.
I did know that.
And he wanted to do it with Paul Rubin because maybe he had seen his show or something. And then, of course, if there's Tim Burton, there's Danny Elfman. This was his first ever full-length like musical score, I guess you could say.
They have just such peak friendship. I love it.
All right, so Pee-wee's Big Adventure. Yeah. It was made in 1985. It was literally all of these people's first time making a movie.
The whole time that Dottie was talking, I was like, her voice is very specific. It sounds really familiar. So I knew her she was the other half of the duet in Friends when Phoebe Buffay, when they sing Smelly Cat. Smelly
Oh my God, you're right.
Cat.
That was her, yeah.
She also does Rugrats, like the Tommy Pickles voice. She does Powerpuff Girls voice.
Freaking Rugrats.
So she's very prolific voice actor, which I did not know.
And at a budget of $6 million, all the effects were practical, which was really cool. I'm going to summarize it for you because it's a really kind of difficult plot. Pee-wee Herman's bike gets stolen, and he goes on a wild adventure to get it back.
You did it.
And that's all. That's really legit all it is. And my biggest thing was like, I thought he was like an outsider in this world, but everyone's an outsider. Everyone lives in this kooky world that he lives in.
Yeah. And I was going to say, he's even like the star of the world. He's like the star of the outsider world. Yeah. Like people love him. He's the most outsider of all the outsiders. So he's good. He's
Because I was thinking at the beginning, I was like, oh, is he just like a kooky guy that lives? And it's like, no, the whole world is like just as kooky and weird as he is. But he is very well liked and respected in the community. community.
He's not bullied or anything. Like I'll get to what I was like a point I'm specifically thinking of later, but there was just moments that I was like, oh, this is where he's going to get beat up or whatever. And it was like, it would never happen. And I'm like, okay, well, I did not see that coming. And I'm glad. I'm glad that that's not what happened.
Yeah, I thought the whole time
we've also been traumatized by so many 80s movies about people being like chased through the streets with their bullies that.
And then at the end of the movie, their only revenge is to get revenge on the bullies. Because remember Never-Ending Story?
Revenge.
Never-Ending Story and Garbage Patch Kids. It was just like my only one to just get back at the people who bullied me.
Yep, to get more revenge.
I know. We've seen so many movies where the bullies it's just ingrained in our heads. And
yeah,
also, you think kids. You also think like children's or kids' movies. There's always like a bully. Yeah, I think that's where my mind was. But no, Pee-wee's well respected and liked, and the whole world is kind of kooky.
He lives in a very like understanding, tolerant world, so that's great. I love it. That was a different tone than most 80s movies. I'll take it.
I think that's why it might have done so well. So let's get into Pee-wee's world a little bit. Let's just help you understand it.
We open the movie with a dream sequence. He is
killing it.
This is just to establish that he loves his bike. Okay.
He's killing it on
that
bike.
So even in his dreams, he dreams about his bike. So he's in the Tour de France. There's all these professional bike riders, and he just flies right on by him on his trusty red and white bicycle. And then he wins, and it's the best dream ever. And he wakes up, and he's just like, I love my bike when I'm asleep. I love my bike when I'm awake.
Telling us
like,
exactly.
My life
is
what? Perfect.
I get it, Pee-wee. I get it.
Love that bike.
And his house is like so kooky. And I'm thinking to myself, where is he getting the money? What does Pee-wee do to get the money to pay for all these contraptions
I had that
in his little
exact
house?
same thought.
I'm like,
because that is a lot of engineering material.
He's like a
and he didn't go to a job.
I know. All day he just goes out and buys more things for his house, like trinkets, which I would love and kind of.
You would definitely do that.
But I'm thinking, like, does he make because, like, basically think about it like Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. It's all these contraptions.
Yes, I was gonna say
the breakfast thing, right?
The breakfast thing, like the 80s had a thing for like, how can we make eggs with a contraption that doesn't make any sense, but would make our lives easier? I guess
it would make your life easier.
Very similar.
It took way longer for that little pterodactyl to put the toast.
And it took up so much space in the kitchen.
It took up so much space. There was 10 machines to crack an egg. I'm like, is this saving anybody any time?
It's so funny though, because I wrote that same note. I was like, this is very Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. In fact, I looked it up just to see, and Honey, I Shrunk the Kids came like 5 years after. But I did think like one must have influenced the other.
Honey, I Shrunk the Kids was 1990?
It was 89.
Wow.
It was 89.
I thought it was so much sooner than that.
So he is surrounded by contraptions. Everything is hyper involved.
Colorful, fun.
Yes.
I will say that fish tank window, what a dream. What a dream.
Was very cool.
I want to make.
That was very cool.
And like I said, all of these are practical effects. So there's no like special effects. So it's cool to see that old school set.
Yes, like they built all of these contraptions. So he goes through his morning with all of his contraptions going, playing games. Here's the thing. I think part of the reason he has the contraptions to make his breakfast is because it gives him more time in the mirror to make silly faces.
Yep,
and he busts out the Scotch tape. And he makes Scotch tape faces, and he just couldn't do that. He has a busy day, and he cannot fit those Scotch tape faces in without the contraptions.
Yeah,
they just give him more time.
He needs to go to that little trinket shop as soon as possible. So give me some trinkets to save myself some trinkets.
Exactly. So he goes through his morning. He eats with a giant knife and fork, of course.
With Mr. Tyrios.
With Mr. T cereal.
And then he does a whole Mr. T thing.
Good morning, Pee-wee. Morning, Mr. Breakfast. Can I have some Mr. T cereal? Okay. Pity the poor fool. Don't eat my cereal.
A whole I pity the fool.
Yep. And he goes outside, turns on it. Did you notice his little sprinkler looks like a minion? I thought you would like that because you love minions.
No, I don't like minions. I do not like minions. Back up. I like minions as a joke. And specifically, I love minion memes that old moms place on Facebook.
Yes,
Not without my
right.
coffee first. Blarg.
It's kind of like a Kathy cartoon overlapped with a minion. It's a very specific genre.
Oh, I love it.
So he's like, tells his neighbors, also perfect example. He's like, I got to turn on my water. The neighbor like shuts the window, like, thanks for the heads up. And then he turns on his sprinkler and the neighbor's delighted to watch the minion sprinkler. Yeah. Like it's pure chaos. But it's not like the water goes in his house. He knows to shut his window. That's on him. And then he just watches it and he's like, oh, Pee-wee, you crazy. His neighbors aren't annoyed with him. No. They're not at all frustrated by the contraption.
Well, there is one neighbor that is kind of annoyed with him, and his name is Francis.
Yes. Yeah, so after he turns his sprinkler on, he presses his special secret code on the side of the house, his security code, and his secret hedge opens up. And there's his bike. Like we said, he dreams about his bike, thinks about his bike constantly. It's the love of his life. Right at that moment, his little neighbor Francis comes skipping up. And I'm like, Francis is gay, right? Like, his little, like...
I was thinking, maybe.
There's, like, something about his little hop step when he's, like, walking.
And he's, like, a full-grown adult that's, like, his counterpart. So it's, like, it's... I was trying to figure out, like, how old is this guy supposed to be? But I think he's supposed to represent, like, a kid, I guess. Like a bully, but a grown man. I don't know. He's a grown man.
I also had a hard time reading Francis because these are both grown-ass men.
But I will say, going back to the kid thing, like, and again, because I didn't know anything about Pee Wee Herman, is he supposed to be a childlike adult? Or is he supposed to be, like, is he an adult that acts like a child and that's funny? Or is he, like, supposed to be younger and it's the joke that he's old? You know what I mean? Like, what's the actual...
It is a mystery to me because it seems like he's living on his own as a full-grown adult.
He's making contraptions to make him breakfast. He's got his own bike.
But at the same time, the way that he reacts, and we'll get there, obviously, but, like, to Dottie's romantic inclinations.
Yeah, like he could
like
care less about...
revolted.
Yeah, he could care less about girls and stuff. But then it's like, if he was that out-of-touch weirdo that was, like, bullied, that would make it different. But he's not. The whole world is like this. So is everybody in this weird... I don't get it. I mean, it's enjoying to watch. I just didn't quite understand who is Pee-wee? How did he get to this
Tell
place?
me more. I want to know what Pee-wee's childhood was like. I want to know more about him.
Or if he's still in his childhood. I don't know.
Or if he never got out of it, it's an arrested development situation. He's just stuck somewhere developmentally.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, is he a grown man who's stuck in this, like, childlike world?
Yes.
Like, what is going on?
In which case, he probably shouldn't be living by himself. And that's a whole different situation. He should have a guardian of some kind. But we're going to trust that Pee-wee is capable of taking care of himself. So he's coming out with his sweet bike. And that's when, like we said, Francis comes skipping up. And Francis is like...
Morning, Pee-wee.
Look, Francis.
Today is my birthday, and my father said I can have anything I want.
Good for you and your father.
So guess what I want? A new brain. No, your bike.
Pee-wee, that bike is the most beautiful, coolest, sickest, illest, flyest bike I've ever seen in my life. I want it. And Pee-wee's like, no, thank you. I love my bike more than anything. And Francis is like, but my dad said I could have anything I wanted.
Yeah, this is where we learn that Francis is like the daddy's boy.
It's not for sale, Francis.
My father says everything's negotiable. Pee-wee.
I wouldn't sell my bike for all the money in the world. Not for $100 billion, million, trillion dollars.
Then you're crazy.
Like rich daddy's boy. Everything is negotiable. Everything has a price, Pee-wee. Trust me on that.
So he asks, Pee-wee says no. He flushes out a whole thing of cash and he's just like, what about all this dollars? And Pee-wee's like, I already told you no. So then Francis goes from begging him.
Pee-wee, listen to reason. Come on! Remember the first time I saw your bike? You were riding past my house and I came running out to tell you how much I liked it even way back then?
To just like fully like...
You'll be sorry, Pee-wee Herman!
I'm gonna kill you! I'm gonna get that bike no matter what! Like
Francis
just very,
switches
very
pretty
angry.
quick. He goes from, bribery to just pure anger and threats. And he's literally telling Pee-wee, like, I will get that bike somehow.
Yeah, he goes from just being like coy to being like such butch, like, you're gonna be sorry!
That's what I do. If something's out of my price range, that's what I do. I'm
get
really
very...
nice. I ask for it, then I just rage out if it's too expensive.
Okay, so we see a sequence of Pee-wee riding through the park. I forgot in the 80s that no one wears helmets.
No, helmets were for queers. Are you kidding me? Fucking wear a helmet? No way. Gay.
They're doing stunts and tricks, and it's just like nobody's even thinking about it.
There was kind of a funny part, though, when he fell off and said, I meant to do that.
You know what? I'm going to take a brief moment while we're talking about making fun of calling things gay. Do you know who Candace Owens is?
No.
She's very, 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 very conservative. Anyway, so I saw this clip of her on TikTok the other day because she doesn't believe in dinosaurs. And she doesn't believe that dinosaur fossils are real. But she goes, the first time someone told me about finding fossils, I thought,
dinosaurs? That seems pretty fake and gay.
Well, that sounds really gay. And I was like, of all the things.
Gay men love paleontology. Love it.
Oh, give me a dinosaur bone.
The
Girl.
gays love it.
It was the weirdest comment. Yeah, paleontologists are so gay. They are notoriously gay.
You seen Jurassic Park? Does that look gay to you? Does Jurassic Park look gay to you? Huh? That T-Rex look gay? Huh?
What about my neckerchief? Is my neckerchief dark? Is this neckerchief gay?
I'll show you gay. That's really funny.
Is my little khaki outfit? Is this gay? I'm matching.
Like little shorty shorts. And my little crocodile Dundee hat. Just dusting off dinosaur bones.
Yeah, so that's just my point. Everybody thought it was queer to wear a helmet, so everyone was totally okay with brain injuries. Pee-wee does fall, but it's all nobody makes fun of him. No one laughs at him. He's not the butt of the joke.
No,
he recovers quickly because Pee-wee is cool. All right, so Pee-wee gets to where he's going. As Colin said, there's not a job involved, but there's lots of money to be spent.
Yes,
so.
Pee-wee's got money. He's got that trust fund money. He goes to a joke shop. The first thing he does is go to like this bizarre joke shop.
That's all red light.
Yes, and it's so weird. And this is a little tidbit of information.
To me.
You know the big head because he buys like a boomerang bow tie and like flashing gum. You know the guy who's trying to sell him something. He pulls up that giant head, right?
Yes.
That is Aleister Crowley's head, like imitation. Yeah, it was like made for. Yes, it's like a prop or something of Aleister Crowley, which is bizarre.
That is so weird.
I know, isn't it weird?
I wonder how they got a hold of it. How did they know it existed?
They got it. I don't know how, but they got it from someone and put it in the movie. But obviously, not a lot of people would know that. But I thought that was really interesting.
Oh my god, that is really funny. Yeah, his first stop to the joke shop, the guy's trying to sell him on the newest joke materials.
My good friend Pee-wee.
Hi, Mario. Just browsing today, Pee-wee? Well, sort of. I wanted to stock up on some supplies.
New improved squirting flour. Fake blood, or is it?
Ugh, no.
Super stink ball.
Have some.
Shrunken head.
No.
Regular size.
No.
No! Trick gum.
Okay.
Headlight glasses.
Yeah.
And direct from Australia, the boomerang bow tie.
Coming red.
But it looks like a photography darkroom. It's all a red light, and I couldn't quite.
And he does sell him. He sells him a bow tie boomerang, which isn't really a joke. That's a weapon. Mm-hmm. It's kind of like getting into spy territory now.
He's like, I got you this joke knife. So you can joke stab
I got this
people.
joke knife. You just use it when you want to get someone out of the way.
It's a joke shiv. It's fine.
It's a joke shiv.
It's hilarious.
But he does have all these kooky things, and Pee-wee's just like, I need this, need it, dummy, give me trinkets.
So he has tied up his bike with a 40-foot chain. He has this endless chain.
It's a joke chain.
Yes.
It's a silly joke chain.
Ties it to the clown next to it. Like, it is secure. Then he goes into a bike shop because, you guys, there's always money to burn, and he has ordered a custom horn for his bike. That has needed to be constructed by Dottie at the bike shop. This is what I was talking about earlier when I said I was going to get there. This is one of those moments before he meets Dottie where I thought the bullying was going to happen.
You were prepped for bullying the whole time.
I was
you were full.
around every corner. corner.
You didn't
I
even
was
see.
like,
He
that's
fell
a
off
bully.
that damn bike, and those kids didn't bully him. It's just not happening
Nope.
at this point. But you were. I was kind of waiting for it too.
Yes, I was fully prepared because he walks in and there's a whole biker gang of like teenage boys, fully dressed like Buzz Lightyear. They've got their
Yes,
biker gang
weird.
gear on. It's like a plastic
Blue and white.
armor.
Yeah. It's very strange.
But with like long sleeves. And you don't quite know if they're a team or if they're just a club, if they voluntarily pay for those clothes. You don't know. But I thought for sure he was going to come in and they were going to be like, oh, there's Pee Wee riding a stupid pussy bike around town. Like just being really
Okay, like with no
dicks.
helmet.
Yes.
Dumb queer.
And they weren't. They were just like,
Hi, guys.
Hey, Pee-wee, how's it going, man? What's up, man?
Hi, Chip. How's it going?
All right. Is Dottie still working on your bike?
No, had it back a couple days already.
What's she doing to it?
Can't really talk about it. You know, James Bond kind of stuff.
Yeah, that Dottie, she's really radical with bikes.
They're sportive.
hey, Pee-wee, what's up?
That horn looks awesome.
So good to see you.
I know. It shows us how skewed our perceptions because we're just waiting for that, but it's actually just a really like positive movie.
Yep. And they're all very invested in his relationship with Dottie.
Say we cruise, dudes. Yeah. Sure is getting hot in here.
Steamy.
I'm sweat.
Dottie works at the bike shop, and it's implying that Dottie like is kind of horny for him.
Oh, not kind of. Like
She's
fully
full.
Una horned.
She's horned. She's as horned as you can be for Pee Wee.
Hi, Pee-wee.
So's my horn ready yet?
Yeah, it's ready. Should be loud enough for you now.
Where is it? Let's hear it.
Wait, I want to talk to you first.
You are talking to me.
No, I want your undivided attention. Look, Pee-wee, this is important. There's someone I want to ask you.
Mm-hmm.
I want to know if you'll do something.
What?
I want to know if you'll go someplace with me.
Like where?
The drive-in.
And he's like, no, he's got no interest in girls. He's like, I don't know what these sexual advances are. I've got to just get this horn on my bike.
And the boys from the biker club, as soon as Dottie comes out from behind, they're like, oh, it's getting hot in here. Oh, things are
But
warming
Pee-wee's
up, right,
not picking
Pee-wee?
up on it.
You go, Pee-wee. Like, just so encouraging. Like, make your move, Pee-wee.
Why is she horned for this like adult man in baby clothes? Like, I don't get it.
I couldn't get the sense of ages. I really couldn't. And the 80s are like that in a lot of ways. When you watch those movies, you're like, how old is everyone?
Oh my gosh, like Garbage Pail Kids?
Yes.
With freaking Liv?
Yes, live.
Live. Oh, yeah. Live
bully,
was like
yeah.
maybe 36. And I'm like,
Yes.
she's for sure a grown adult.
Fully chasing a child. Yes.
Speaking of, real quick, side note, Grease, the movie Grease.
Rizzo.
Yes, I always, when I watched
Oh.
it young, I was always like, she just seems not like a high school kid. But then I watched this thing just the other day where they were talking about the director was like, he did the thing called the crow's feet test. And if the actors didn't have crow's feet, then they could be realistically high school students. But they were literally in their 30s. Rizzo was 33.
Where are you going, to flog your log? So what, you guys think this is a gangbang?
There's one guy that's part of Danny Zuko's gang.
I just ain't gonna take any of a crap. That's all. I don't take no crap from nobody.
I promise you he had crow's feet.
He's 31.
I can
I
promise
know.
you
I'm
he
like,
had
what?
crow's
What?
feet.
Did they not smile? Did they not speak for this test?
He's just like this middle-aged
Yes.
man
I was
that
young.
I'm
I was
like,
like 10. I was like, are they really trying to pass these guys off as high school students? Like,
yes, and even
that is
Rizzo's
wild.
hair is like an old lady, like short haircut. It's not even like a cute pixie. It's like a grandma
I
haircut, which
know.
made it
She's
even more
perming
confusing.
it every night. Yeah, it
'Cause
was
she
really
was like,
strange.
She was the strumpet. Like she was,
Oh.
made to be like the slut or whatever. And I'm like, she looks like a grandma. And I could never figure out why they dressed her like that. Like it was such a strange.
That's what I
here,
felt
this
too,
is the
because
guy.
obviously we're not being ageist here. Who thought these people could pass as high school students? Like, who in what world do you think a 33-year-old man can pass as like Johnny Zuko or whatever? It was
Danny
just...
Zuko, how dare you?
Sorry, Dan.
How dare you? I was going to say that the only person who was allowed to do that was Gabrielle Union.
Oh, she doesn't age.
She's
she does not age.
ageless.
She looks
It's
exactly the same as she did
amazing.
in 10 Things I Hate About
Yeah.
You.
And she's like 50 now.
Oh, yeah. She's killing it.
So I'm like, okay, fine, you can do it, but you're the only one.
You and Stacey Dash.
Yes, exactly. It's like they at least tried with Olivia Newton-John to give her like young hair and young clothes, but with Rizzo, she's got like a sensible pencil skirt.
She's
and
wearing a
she's
brooch.
got
She's wearing a brooch. She's
little
carrying around caramels in her
shoulder
pocket.
sweaters. Like it is legitimately like what? She's the strumpet around town hooking up with all the guys. I don't believe it for a second.
Now back to your regularly scheduled program.
So, yes, Dottie is...
She's kind of horned for him, but he's not feeling it from her. He is there just to pick up
Yes.
that horn. Do not care about the dots.
Like I said, can I have the horn, please? And I don't know if it is like that young boy thing of like, ooh, gross, girls have
just
cooties.
like repulsed by, cooties.
Is he
I think
asexual?
that's what
Is he queer? We don't know.
That's the vibe I picked up, though. Like, he's just like cooties. Like, he's at that age where, even though he's a grown man in a bow tie, he's at that age where he's like, ooh, girls, gross, cooties. That's kind of what I picked up out of it.
She's like, please take me out. He says, no, I just want to get my horn and I will leave. But it's bad news because when he goes to get his bike that's been wrapped up in his giant chain,
it's gone.
Just shards of chain all over the floor.
It's done stole. It's done stole.
And the bike is missing.
It got stolen in broad daylight with a lot of people around because there are
and that's a lot of chain to get through.
That is a lot of chain.
A lot of chain.
So I'm already feeling a little suspicious of Francis, you know. I've got my eye on him. So Pee-wee's devastated. His bike is stolen. As a watcher, I'm like, I've got my eye on that Francis, right?
But that doesn't occur to Pee-wee quite yet.
I know, Pee-wee he's boggled. He has no idea who did this. And he goes to the police.
He goes to the police station. Yeah, he decides he's going to do that first. And it's the police who are like...
Look, let me be honest with you. Hundreds of bikes are stolen every month. Very few of them are ever recovered. We just don't have the resources.
You're saying you can't do anything? My bike means everything to me. I knew the police wouldn't help.
Do you know what I would do if I were you?
What?
I'd retrace my steps.
We are so sorry about your bike. There's nothing we can do.
Nothing.
You might want to retrace your steps, though.
And that's when the light bulb goes off.
I parked my bike, and when I came back, it was gone.
Well, can you think of anyone who might have wanted to take it?
Everyone wanted my bike. This morning, right before it got stolen, Francis offered... Francis!
I did talk to Francis earlier this morning who told me he was going to take my bike and kill me. He, like, verbally assaulted me and went crazy.
Did threaten my life. That was definitely something that happened. Just a side note, the police station has green carpet floors.
What's wrong with that? Side note, the restaurant has yellow cups. Sick.
But it's just like, have you ever seen a police station with carpeted floors?
I think carpet is where you're getting. I thought the color of, I think carpet in general.
Not
in
the color.
No, that's right. Because you said green carpet, and I was like, but just carpet.
Yes, sorry. I was focused on green, but it's just the carpet. It's just the carpet in the bullpen.
That is a little strange.
Yeah, so he decides he's going to trace his steps back to the person who threatened him and threatened to steal his bike that morning. So he goes to Francis's house. The servant is like, well, Francis is taking his bath. Pee-wee's like, I don't care. Please just send me to wherever he is.
Does anybody work in this world? Francis is taking baths, bullying people.
Francis is in a bath that looks like a pool. Like, his bathroom is so humongous. His pool
He's making
is
everybody
huge.
envious, right? You want to be in that giant bathtub.
So Pee-wee is like calling him on his shit. He's like,
"You want to buy my bike, Francis?
What would I do with that? Oh, really? I can have any bike in the world.
Aha! Don't want it anymore because you already have it. Tell me where it is before I lose patience with you, Francis.
You took my bike. You threatened me this morning. Francis denies it. Pee-wee jumps into the bath with Francis and tries to murder him.
I mean,
he tries to drown him. It gets very physical. It gets very physical.
You see Pee-wee lose it, and he's like choking him, and it's kind of a little Pee-wee. You kind of see both of them switch real quick.
Yeah, and I was going to say earlier, Pee-wee doesn't get bullied, but Pee-wee also takes no shit because when it comes down to it, I mean, he's like, I will murder you. Like, he tries to drown Francis.
You're not a bully if you're not taking shit. There's a difference between being a bully and not taking shit.
Yeah.
Big difference.
You don't mess with Pee-wee.
So basically, Francis is like, I don't have your stupid bike. I don't know what you're talking about.
So he tries to rally the entire community to help him find his bike. They're like,
a long time we wait. We've been here for over 3 hours now, and I'm not sure if any of us can see what all this is supposed to mean.
There's nothing we can do here. He tries to put out a reward.
Oh, he's trying.
Nothing's
he's giving
working.
a compelling speech. He says, who's the victim? He holds up a picture of himself. That was powerful. Powerful.
Yes, really powerful. Then his plan with Dottie, they're hanging up posters where it's like, if you return the bike, I'll give you a $10,000 reward. And she's like, well, you don't have $10,000. And he's like, well, here's where I'm too smart for you.
Bitch, have you seen my house?
That's
true. Definitely have $10,000.
He's like, I have $10,000 worth of just like equipment.
I have a contraption
lying around.
that literally cracks my eggs in the morning. I've got $10,000.
You got $10,000. Don't you worry about it. His genius plan is whoever returns the bike is the person who stole the bike, so then he doesn't have to pay them the reward.
I mean, that's pretty good. You know, that's kind of a solid proof plan. So Pee-wee is maniacal a little bit.
He's
in a good way.
He is a little bit maniacal. He's trying his hardest. The very last thing he does, and this is important, is he goes on the radio.
Come on.
Where are we going now?
On the air.
Well, that was some story, Pee-wee. And with the kind of reward money you're offering, I'm sure a lot of our listeners will be out looking.
Oh, my name's engraved in back of the seat. That's Pee-wee Herman. P-E...
Yeah, I feel like this community that like is all so happy. They love Pee-wee. You'd think that someone would have
really
seen something. Someone would have had a tip,
Yes.
right? You're on the
Yes.
radio. You're at the police department. You're literally putting up flyers. You'd think that someone would be like, yeah, Pee-wee, I know a little something.
Because what was Francis going to do? He can't ride it now. Everybody will see it.
Yeah.
What's he going to do with it?
That's why
You know
go-
what I mean?
Yeah, it's like you're stealing a car. It's like okay, it's
Is it just
registered,
like the
you know.
principle of like, well, I told you I was going to get that bike, and so I'm going to get it?
Yeah,
or
he's rich
what's,
and he gets
is it a
whatever he
power
wants.
play?
I think so.
Maybe. The reason that I bring up the radio station is because that's when Francis is sitting in his chair in his house full of taxidermied, like big game
you know
hunting
people are
animals.
rich if they have taxidermy. The more taxidermy, the wealthier you are. And he is sitting in a chair that has giant elephant tusks that like come to a point. It's very like Game
There's a
of
whole
Thrones.
tiger behind him.
It's so funny.
His whole lamp is like an eagle claw. I don't know if you noticed that, but it's like an eagle claw. And then
No,
there's,
I
like,
did
the
not.
lamp comes up. Yes,
I want
everything in that
Francis's
room.
life.
It is amazing.
But he's basically telling his little henchman to like he did steal the bike. He had his henchman do it.
Yes.
And he's basically like
That does it. He just won't let up. I've changed my mind. I don't want the stupid bike anymore.
Well, a deal's a deal. So fork over my money for lifting it for you. Bucks ton.
Here, and take the bike with you. Just get rid of it.
That'll cost you extra. See you later, sucker.
get rid of this bike.
Because he hears on the radio that they're looking for the bike, and he's like, the heat is on. I can't take this kind of pressure. You got to get rid of the
It
bike.
started out as a small little tiff, and now it's like you're on the radio. It's getting real.
It's getting out of control. So the guy says, I will get rid of it for you, but now you have to pay me extra because like you already paid me to steal the bike, and now you got to pay me to take it away. So he's like, whatever, take the
Just
cash,
take it away.
just get it
Just
the
get it
fuck
the hell
out of here. So that's when we've reached the peak. Like nothing PB is doing is working. So he's wandering the streets.
Well, I kind of thought about it too, because I was like, if the cops can't help you, the community can't help you, nobody's helping you, and you need to find out where your bike is. He kind of makes a rational decision by going to a freaking psychic. Fortune teller.
Yes.
I should say fortune
Yes.
teller. He pays her by just digging in his pocket and throwing coins on the table. And I was like, if I was that fortune teller, I'd be like, okay, Pee-wee, I get your vibe. You're like childlike or whatever, but do not throw coins
Could you
and
not
wads
throw
of things on
metal money at me, please? That's not nice. That's abuse. So she tells him,
Somewhere far away. But where? The Alamo. Alamo. In the basement.
his bike is in the basement of the Alamo.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Oh boy. That
Yeah.
is now the adventure really starts.
So now he's got to get there. And he doesn't drive. He doesn't have a car. And
So-
he doesn't have a bike. So this is all about how he's going to get to the freaking Alamo. How's he going to do it?
Okay, so he's on his way to the Alamo, guys. He's got to get his bike. You know what? In his defense, he set it up at the very beginning. He loves his bike when he sleeps, awake, thinks about it all the time.
Yes,
So,
yes.
we know he's going to get that bike at the Alamo.
Yes.
But he doesn't drive. Nobody helps him. So what does he decide to do? He decides to hide. Now you've got me saying it.
Sorry. I was saying hijack, and now we can't stop
Hitchhike.
saying hijack.
He hitchhikes.
Hitch.
But one of the things he does is Pee-wee pulls out this like giant fake thumb and hitchhikes. And I'm thinking to myself, where did we learn to do this? What taught us as a culture that that's what you do to hitchhike? Does anyone stick out there? Has anyone ever done that? Do they do it? I know people used to hitchhike all the time, but in Hawaii, I used to hitchhike and I never put out my thumb. I just ran out. I just ran out in front of the car.
So you're like, pick me up.
I've picked up hitchhikers.
You did. You picked up hitchhikers when you were coming to visit me one time in Las Vegas. They were like outside of Kingman. You picked up these random girls on the side of the road.
Oh, yeah. I do remember that. But I did pick up the hitchhikers in Hawaii, those two twins that like, and wound up going like on, they're like super health people, remember? Hugsy and Ross.
Oh my God.
And they ended up living with me for like 2 months.
Yes. Oh my God.
They went on to be like these supermen being, they're like on, in the science and tech world, they're like very...
Have you talked to them since then?
No. I just follow them on Instagram. I think I've like congratulated them a couple times, but you know, you're in your...
That's crazy. I didn't know that. I mean, I knew that you picked them up and they lived with you. I didn't know that they had become like huge successes. That's really funny.
Anyway, off topic. So yeah, he does get picked up by this beautiful car and this man named Mick.
And Mickey's got his like broken handcuff. He's escaped from jail.
It's clear that he's on the run. Pee-wee not picking it up. Pee-wee's not picked it up yet.
Pee-wee's like a little slow on the uptake, but eventually he realizes it. And I did get the giggles because Mickey went to prison. Oh, it's online as Mickey.
Anyway, doesn't matter. Cut this out.
Mick/Mickey. Finally, Pee-wee realizes he's on the run. And he's like, what did you do? And he's like...
Well, I lost my temper and I took a knife and I, you know those little do not remove under the penalty of law labels they put on mattresses?
Yeah.
Well, I cut one of them off.
Gee.
Yeah, I got a real bad temper.
You know those tags on the mattresses that say, don't remove or you'll be persecuted by the law? And he's like, yeah. And he's like, that's what I did. And
that was kind of funny.
Laughed because I was like, I remember being so scared of those tags. And for some reason, Mom was always really weird about it.
I don't even know what
like,
the tags are. What are they?
Yeah, there's just tags on mattresses that say, don't remove, or you could be subject to law.
I have no idea what this world is. I don't know.
And I have never understood why those tags were there. And so Mom used to be like, I would try to take them off my like pillows and mattresses, and she was like, don't do it. And she was really weird about it. And so it made me laugh that he was in jail for that because it was a very strange tag that everyone was perplexed by in the 80s.
So they're driving and they see, we're only bringing this up because another part that made me giggle is they are coming up to like a police stop because Mickey's on the run. And they're like, well, how are we going to get past this? And Pee-wee really quickly and cleverly decides to dress up like a woman and be his pretend girlfriend. And it is on point.
Love every second of it.
Give me more of Pee-wee in a dress.
But I will say, it gets uncomfortable when the police officer's like, ma'am, can you step out of the car?
Some sort of problem?
No problem at all. I just wanted to take a quick look at that cute little outfit you have on.
Why don't you take a picture? It'll last longer.
And can you show me that cute little dress?
Yes.
I know. I was so cringed. I was like, oh, don't say that. And he doesn't even say it in like a sexual way. Just what he's saying is really strange. Like, can you get out?
I want to
take a turn.
And yeah, he like makes her spin around.
Yes. It's like, okay.
Maybe let's not pull people over and make them get out of the car so we can look at them. But when he gets back in, Mickey's perplexed because Mickey takes off his disguise right away. But Pee-wee's like, I'm actually great. This skirt's very comfortable. I'm going to stay in it. Don't worry about it. One night on the road, Mickey falls asleep and Pee-wee's driving. So I guess he has a license. I guess he's capable of driving.
Yeah, you see him driving that bike.
It's true. But this is the first car we've seen him drive. The road gets too topsy-turvy. He goes off a cliff.
There's literally a sign that says it's like a snake. Like instead of an S turn, it's like all stupid.
It looks like a knot out of the road. Did you just say that's stupid? Cut that out.
Stupid. Cut it. Post-production. Cut it.
All of a sudden I just heard you go, cut that out. I'm like just so irritated. So, so they go off a cliff, but because it's silly Pee-wee land, they fall for like 10 minutes. They're like talking to each other as they fall, and then they land peacefully on the other side. And then that's when Mickey's like,
you gotta leave.
I can't take you.
Yeah, you gotta get out.
Yes, because A, you're causing me trouble. B, I'm living a crazy life of a convict, and I don't want to drag you into this.
But he tends to leave him, like, so he leaves him conveniently at a bar, a beautiful bar. And what's the name of the bar?
Technically, it's the middle of nowhere, because when he drives away, he's like,
Wait! I'm in the middle of nowhere!
it's the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
And then he gets surrounded by all of the animals in the field, and he gets freaked out. But
so after Mickey says, bye, I can't do this anymore, this is where we meet one of the most iconic characters. And when Cadence and I were picking like movies for this podcast, because this whole season is like childhood movies that cause us adult trauma and it sticks with us, this is where you meet Large Marge. And apparently she was the nightmare fuel
was a recurring,
for a lot of people. A lot of people were saying Large Marge scared the pee-wee out of me.
Yeah, so he's hitchhiking. She picks him up, and she tells him,
On this very night, 10 years ago, along this same stretch of road, in a dense fog, just like this, I saw the worst accident I ever seen. There was this sound, like a garbage truck dropped off the Empire State Building. And when they finally pulled the driver's body from the twisted, burning wreck, it looked like this.
It looked like this! And it's like her face.
She freaking turns around and full eyes bulge, claymation status. It's very Tim Burton now that I know he directed this, because it reminds me of Beetlejuice.
It's like
for sure.
Beetlejuice, yeah.
And the scene in Beetlejuice where they like pop out their eyes and then do their mouths, that terrified me as a kid.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes, it was so scary.
And it's kind of unexpected. And she's kind of this, she doesn't blink the whole time. That she's like, rah, scares the crap out of Pee-wee.
He goes, I'm going to get out right here. Luckily, it's a truck stop. So when she pulls over, she says,
Be sure and tell him Large Marge sent you.
Tell him Large Marge sent you. So when he goes in,
that's exactly what he does. He does exactly what Large Marge said.
Someone named Large Marge sent me, and the whole truck stop goes absolutely.
They stop silent.
Did you say Large Marge?
She just dropped me off.
That's impossible. Large Marge. She's...
It was 10 years ago, on a night just like tonight. Why, tonight's the anniversary. Worst accident I ever seen.
That means the Large Marge I was riding with was...
And they're like, who? You know what I was just thinking of? I was thinking of Barb and Cat on SNL, because we were doing like the same thing, like she's trying to mimic what he said. You've seen it,
like
Barb and
Fred
Cat.
Armisen and Kristen Wiig.
Yes, and they're like trying to like copy each other, because we were like, you, and the bar,
Marge,
that's what they do.
They did.
Oh, I love it.
Did I tell you I saw Fred Armisen in person?
No, when?
Like 2 weeks ago. So we went. Do you know who Tim Heidecker is?
Mm-mm.
He's a comedian / actor. He does lots of stuff. Anyway, he has a band, and it's kind of a silly band, kind of a serious band. It's hard to describe, but they were playing at the Crescent Ballroom, which is like a small little club in Phoenix, and Fred Armisen was the guest performer. So he does like a little
interesting.
Yeah, and he like sings with him, and they do like this comedy thing, and then he plays like a intermission show with the drums, because Fred Armisen's a drummer, and so he does this like comedy thing with the drums. And yeah, it was like very laid back, very chill, like not really scripted, but really funny. And yeah, it was like super fun, because it's like such a teeny tiny venue.
Fred Armisen. I love him.
But yeah, he was so funny and nice.
Did I tell you about the time I saw Chris Kattan and it was the worst stand-up I've ever seen? I at the time was like, oh, he's SNL, I like him, Mr. Peepers or whatever.
What
and
year
I wasn't
was
like
it?
a huge fan of him, but he was funny. And I was like, oh yeah, sure, I'll go see him. And you guys, I'm going to be very honest, it was so bad. He was like angry and bitter at people, and he would like call people up and just start like being mean to them. It was really bizarre. I don't think he had anything planned, but I remember being like, this is the worst comedy show I've ever seen. I haven't been to a ton of comedy shows, but enough to say that this is the worst I've ever been
that was
to.
not good.
And I was so bummed out. And after that, I was just like, I don't like this guy anymore.
But anyway, point being, I just was thinking about that because I just saw Fred Armisen. So point being, we are back at the truck stop. And
all the truckers are quiet as a church mouse because Pee-wee just said that Large Marge gave him a ride. And they're like, Large Marge, that accident happened 10 years ago. She's dead. It's a ghost.
Yeah, and there's like a plaque on the wall dedicated to Marge.
I love Large Marge. She was big in the trucker community.
Oh, she held them all together.
She did. She was rounding them all up.
So yeah, he was driven around by a ghost.
Yeah, he was like, I can't believe I just got driven around by a ghost. Although she did look terrifying at the very end, so I can kind of believe it. At the truck stop, this is where he meets Simone.
So he's lost his wallet in all the commotion of like Mickey kicking him out, the ghost scaring the shit out of him, all those things. He does not have his wallet.
Surprise, surprise.
Yeah, she's the waitress at the bar, and she's like, you can work off your debt by working in the kitchen and washing some dishes.
I love that. That's another thing that you see so much in movies and shows that I don't know if they ever, maybe they did it at one point in time where you have to go wash dishes if you can't pay for it.
They did. I know they did. I don't know if it was like super.
If I would have known that the whole time in college, I would have washed a million dishes.
Seriously.
I just need food.
If you could have found the right place, just like, I will do dishes.
I will do dishes all the time.
Yeah.
Just give me a freaking soda. But she's kind of my favorite because she's just like really feeling Pee-wee, and she just wants to get out and have her own dreams and her own world. And they have kind of a little connection.
They have a little, and that's another example of a woman who gets kind of like attached to Pee-wee in almost a sexual way.
Well, wouldn't you get attached to Pee-wee?
I mean, and he's just same thing, oblivious. So she's like,
I always have trouble with goodbyes. The French say au revoir.
Au revoir.
Wait, before you go, will you come and watch the sunrise with me? Please?
before you leave, can we go watch the sunrise together? So they go to this, like, you know, those road stops that have like those weird paper mache giant dinosaurs around them. There's tons of them in Arizona.
Outside of Reno. Yeah.
Yes. So they climb up in one of those and they are talking. And across the street, there's a mechanic. And guess what? He spies them going into that little dinosaur. And you're like, oh, he's her boyfriend because he's very interested in what they are doing.
Yes, he's very interested.
This is where one of those moments of the adult sort of humor comes in. And you're sort of like, this is kind of weird for a kid's movie. But they're in the dinosaur's mouth. And they're talking about their hopes and dreams. She wants to move to France. Oh, she does tell a very funny joke, though, about how she wants to move to France, but her boyfriend took French in high school and was bad at it. And so he thinks that Europe is meant to make him feel stupid. So he never wants to go there. And I was dying. I'm like, that could describe like half of the men in America now and the toxic masculinity situation.
I did watch or listen to a podcast about a guy who died in one of those dinosaur legs.
No!
Yes, he got up in one and died, and it smelled, and then people found him. They didn't know. Yes.
What was he
it was
doing?
One of those. I don't know. He was trying to like be cool and like break the rules or something, and he went inside that he wasn't supposed to, and he ended up getting stuck, and no one could hear him because it was like that.
That's my nightmare.
Yeah,
that's my nightmare. That's my nightmare. It's so two things. It's like the dark, also claustrophobia, just hearing people outside and them not like just all of that is.
It's so weird that it's your biggest fear. People usually love that. You don't know how many people I've met who are like, you know what a great time is? Like being in a tiny little box where you can't move. It's like opposite of a fear to
what
me.
I love to do is to relax. As I find the tiniest,
really small space,
darkest corner I can find,
and breathe.
Have someone else shut the door so that I can't get out.
It's weird that it's your fear. That's so strange. It's not mine.
I It's like, I know it's weird and I'm just quirky and different that I'm like very afraid of like dark enclosed spaces. It's just this crazy thing about me.
For her birthday last year, we just got a bunch of quilts and blankets and threw them in the bathroom and then locked her in there so she couldn't move, but she was just packed. She was just slammed up against the wall with all these. I love this. It's the best birthday ever.
It's like a deprivation tank.
There's so many blankets and we put you in the linen closet. We just stuck you in there and
wrapped me up.
Keep me in here a little bit longer. I love it.
Turn on the music real loud so you can't hear me screaming. I like to unwind.
Cadence loved it. That was what she wanted to do every birthday. Just put a bunch of bubble wrap and put me in this box.
Make sure it's soundproof. So, yeah, she's in this dinosaur mouth. They're talking about her hopes and dreams. Her boyfriend puts his ear up to the dinosaur, I guess. And she goes, I want to do this thing, but. And so Pee-wee makes a joke.
Everyone I know has a big butt. Come on, Simone, let's talk about your big butt.
Let's talk about your big butt. And the boyfriend is like, talk about big butt. And then she says,
Pee-wee, I've been waiting for somebody to put it to me like that for so long.
Then he's like, oh, Pee-wee's doing some magic finger stuff in there. What in the world? So he hikes over to a sign to get a weapon because I guess now he's going to beat them to death. Like, it's very bleak when you really think about it.
This is the only part where there was like a real bully.
Yes, he grabs a dinosaur bone, brings it back, and he starts chasing them around. And I was like, this is one of those things I'm like, doesn't age great. It's like domestic violence. Like, he's jealous. He's going to kill her and him. Like, it's not really as funny when you really break it down. But I liked that the joke was on the boyfriend that, like, he's just fragile.
Yeah,
and
his insecurities are going to, get the best of him.
Like, he just feels, yes, exactly. As they are running to escape from the crazed boyfriend who's trying to beat them to death with a dinosaur bone, Pee-wee hops on a moving train and just into one of those, it's like a freight train, and he hops into a car.
Always wanted to do that.
Yeah.
I think it'd be
People used to do that when I lived in Thatcher, because there was this train that would run specifically from like Lordsburg to Thatcher. And so people would hop on it because it wasn't that far. It was like an hour away.
And they don't go very fast because they were like huge trains. Because I remember the one in Deming or Lordsburg or whatever. You knew people that did that? That's so exciting.
Yeah. It was just like, just like dumb guys from the college would go do it. But I never ventured out to do it. I was too scared.
I could not imagine you doing that. But
because
I just want to stay in my small, dark space.
Just lock me in a dark space.
I don't want to go out there in the big world.
I was nervous about running and like being able to jump on it. I don't know. Like, no one invited me. But number two...
You just waited out all day waiting for someone to invite you.
Like, someone's going to invite me to jump on a train. I know.
No, I don't want to jump on the train. No, it's okay.
So then I just told people, like, I don't want to jump on the train anyway. So like, don't invite me. I'm not going to go. But when
really
I did think about
hate trains
conceptually, when I thought about it, I was like, I don't know if I could run fast enough to jump on it. But anyway, he meets his little friend, his little hobo friend, who, by the way, is the old guy on Best in Show that Jennifer Coolidge is married to.
Oh, I didn't know that, but I have seen him in other places. He's your go-to, like, really, really old guy.
He makes friends with this guy, and it's just a cute little moment because it shows that Pee-wee loves everyone. He treats everyone equally. He does not have any judgment, and he values every single person he comes in contact with.
And then the hobo bullies him and kills him.
And then the hobo throws him off the train.
He bullies him, and that's where the bullying comes in. And the hobo just goes nuts on him.
That would be so funny if he was like so loving to the hobo, and then the hobo just kicks him off the train, and you're like, oh, okay, well, that's not where I saw that going. So Pee-wee hops off the train when he sees a sign for San Antonio because that is where the Alamo is. And that's where he's been trying to get this whole time.
To the basement of that Alamo.
So he makes it to the Alamo, and there's a tour going on.
With Tina, the tour guide. She was one of my favorite characters because she's no nonsense. All the information you could possibly get. No questions, nothing. She is good at her job.
Hi, and welcome to the San Antonio Department of Parks and Recreation official Alamo tour. My name is Tina.
I loved her. She was chewing gum the whole time, which I thought was so funny. Like, it was just such a funny character. So he tries to ask her a question, and she's like,
"Excuse me, Tina, but could we go straight to
I'll tell you what. Let's hold all questions until the end of the tour, okay?
But
thank you.
We're not done with this part of the tour.
Yeah, she's doing her job.
So if you could just keep it down." So he politely waits, bless his little heart. He politely waits for the entire 2-hour tour of the Alamo. Then she's like, "Does anyone have any questions?" And that's when he says, "Can we go to the basement?" And she's like, "You silly Billy.
Nope.
There's no basement in the Alamo."
Where's the basement?
Excuse me?
Aren't we going to see the basement?
There's no basement at the Alamo.
And Pee-wee's like, "That fortune teller! Why did she do this to me?" Actually, he doesn't really do that, but he does realize that it's all a sham, and he's like, "I cannot believe I've done all this."
Yeah.
And there's not. I keep burping. I'm sorry.
Whole entire. You're like, "Oop."
I know. Like, every time I try to talk, I'm like, "Oh, excuse me."
Did you watch The Jinx on HBO? Like, it's probably like 10 years ago now, about the guy. He's like an old rich guy who killed a bunch of people, but somehow never went to jail for it. And he gets kind of cornered by the documentary crew at the end. And he goes into the bathroom. And it became a famous thing because his mic is still on and he goes into the bathroom. And he's like, "What did you do? You killed them all, of course." And he's like talking to himself.
Oh, no.
It's so weird and creepy.
That would be me 100%, though. I love talking to myself.
The more that they're cornering him before he goes into the bathroom, the more he starts burping. And so the joke is like he's got he's like got these guilt burps, and he's just like, "I don't know, checking."
I would be talking to myself in the mirror doing the same thing. Like, "Colin, what did you do all the years ago?" Sorry. So
That's
creepy.
exactly what it is. So that's
creepy.
what made me think about it.
So he learns that there's no basement in the Alamo. And he's like, "What am I going to do now?" Well, I'll tell you what you're going to do. You're going to run away from Simone's ex because apparently he's chased Pee-wee like all the way here with that dinosaur bone. He really did not want Pee-wee to talk about butts with his girlfriend.
He's like, "I hurt you."
And Pee-wee's like, "I need to escape this guy. How do I escape?" So he runs into like a trailer and he disguises himself as a cowboy.
I mean, nothing's going to end well when you're disguised as a cowboy.
No.
So, of course, he gets wrangled into being in a rodeo. And
Of course.
Of course.
Of course.
He's going to have to fight a bull. Of course.
And of course he does it, but
But Andy is so blinded by his rage that he chases Pee-wee into the bullpen. And then the bull turns his sights on Andy.
Oh,
and that's how
get
we
your
lose
comeuppance.
Andy. He gets chased out of the bullpen, down the road, and he never sees
Andy's dead. He died. That's true. That's how he lost Andy. In this whole charade, because Pee-wee's got to commit to the bit. Like, I'm dressed like a cowboy. Now I have to do every single thing a cowboy does, no questions asked. And they're instantly like, bull ride. Duh, that's what all cowboys do. They bull ride.
He could have been like, "Oh, I just threw this on because I have a crazed guy chasing me with a dinosaur bone." But he's like,
to the
"Nope,
bit.
I am now a cowboy. This is who I am now."
This is entirely who I am. And he commits to it so much that he actually gets knocked off the bull and gets knocked out and like literally has amnesia. He can't remember anything.
What's your name?
Can't remember.
Where you from?
I can't remember.
Can't you remember anything?
I remembered the Alamo.
Anything.
So after a day of pretending to be a cowboy, committing to the bit, but that bull chased your enemy away, so now you're just going to relax by going to a bar
I mean, you did win.
and hanging out with a group of guys called Satan's Helpers.
Right. He doesn't know at first that they're Satan's helpers.
He doesn't judge.
He just really, really needs to use the phone. And he's frustrated because they're very loud. So he's like,
I'm sorry, operator, I can't hear you.
I'm trying to use the phone.
"Could you please, excuse me, I'm trying to make a very important phone call." And they're like,
"What?
I'm sorry.
We're
Did you just
Satan's
say
helpers.
excuse
Is it supposed to be
me?
like a joke on like Hell's Angels? Yeah, duh. Hell's Angels, Satan's helpers, duh.
So they all come up and surround him, and they all are so pissed. They're like,
Did anybody tell you that this is the private club of the Satan's helpers?
Nobody hit me to that, dude.
It's off limits!
this is private. It's a private club for Satan's helpers. So if you could exit the premises,
Please
we
get
would
out.
really appreciate that.
And this is
So
a
he
rough,
leaves.
tough, I cannot talk.
A
A
what?
rough, tough,
You
a
tried so hard
rough,
the second time.
tough group of guys.
You were so determined. You're
I
like
know.
a rough,
I'm like,
tough,
seriously. Rough, tough group.
Rough,
You say
tough.
it, rough, tough group of guys.
rough, tough, goof. Oh, I said it. I said
Yeah.
rough, tough.
You can't solve
Rough,
to do it. It's
tough
a tongue
group of
twister.
guys. And I did it with a lot of confidence, and it was wrong. So he walks outside, and he knocks over one motorcycle, and they all domino motorcycle over.
Yeah.
And I don't know. Oh, you know what? You have experience with this.
No, I was just about to
because
say,
you
it reminded
almost
me.
lost your life.
I did
at a
almost
club.
lose my life at freaking the Flame. When I was backing out of the Flame, it was like this dodgy bar in New Mexico. It's just
in this
not
tiny
cute.
town in New Mexico.
And
Like,
I was really the designated driver because my friend was visiting, and I wanted it to be like, you have fun, you let loose, you know? And so I had her car, and we were leaving the Flame, and I backed up, and I hit someone's Harley, and it fell over. And before I could even register what was going on, just probably 10 freaking Satan's helpers surrounding me, so mad that I knocked over the motorcycle. And I'm saying it in a funny tone now, but in the
it
moment,
was traumatizing.
I thought I was like, oh, this is how I'm going to die tonight. And they were like, get out of the car. And I was like, no. I was literally rolled down the window, and I was like, my insurance will take it. But I couldn't leave because the motorcycle was behind it. And so they were
Right.
like all surrounding, like, get out of the car. And I was like, oh my God. So I got out of the car.
Oh, why?
Because I don't know. I just was like, I either die standing up or I die in this. Because you guys, it was really like 10, and it's caused like a scene now. And they're like yelling, and I'm just like this stupid queer without a helmet. I'm like, oh, I don't know. And I'm trying to literally say like, my insurance, I'll help you. And then this girl, she walked this other girl and her group of angels. They were the Hell's Angels to these Satan's helpers, right? She walks up with her like tasseled bikini top, you know, with the little beaded tassels at the end, and her hoops and her bandana. And she like enters, and she's like, no, you were illegally parked. And she was like, I'm an assistant of a court reporter, legal reporter, and I know that you parked illegally. And I was like, oh my God. So then her group starts fighting with this group that had me surrounded. And you guys, no joke, a full fight breaks out. Kim got her face slammed in the car.
And I was going to say, Kim got her hair like
yes,
pulled
someone
and
jumped on
face
her,
slammed.
and everyone, you guys, it was literally ran inside. I know it sounds like made up, but we actually had the police come. We had like
it was,
evidence.
I
It was
remember.
the most wild thing. And best part, I didn't get touched. Nobody touched me. Nobody laid a finger on me. I sat there in the middle watching
You started
everyone
the
fight.
whole thing,
I know.
and then...
I watched my friend in slow motion getting her head like bashed into the thing, and I'm like,
and somehow you're just, it's all happening around you in slow motion.
I
and you're
know,
like,
and I was just standing there, like literally looking around. And then when that girl came with her group, it just caused this like crazy fight. And then everyone was wanting to fight. And then I distinctly remember people running into the bar and getting a pool cube and like a stick.
Like a pool cue? Like a
stick, yes. And they were coming out, and I was like, oh my God, this is how I'm going to die. And then the cops came, questioned me about it. And then the girl that came to save me, she was like, you know what? I just saw this little white boy, and I knew he was going to die. And I was going to say, not today. Not today. And I was like, thank you. She had my back, and she just knew, like, I was a fish out of water over there, you guys. And she just knew, and she was like, I was going to watch this boy get murdered, and I had to interject. And not only did I interject, I got interjected with legal jargon.
And physical jargon.
She was full on defending. You were illegally parked. You were illegally parked. I'm a court reporting assistant. I know exactly what the laws are. And her gang swooped in, and I was just like, that was one of the most wild happenings that's honestly ever happened.
I remember vividly you telling me that.
You
like,
had just
coming
cut
over
my
and
hair.
telling me that. And
you had
I was
literally
just
cut my hair. And I was wearing the gayest outfit.
And I was just like, Colin, you're going to die. Like, I remember being like, why didn't you call someone? Like, and you were just like, it all happened so fast. And you were it was scary. So you were stressed out, obviously. But
I was shaking. I still and Kim's bleeding. And I'm just like, oh my God, like this is because it escalated so quick and it escalated
so quick
without none of these people might have known each other. It was literally just, don't tell me I'm illegally parked. This guy hit my Harley. Well, you are illegally parked. And then it was like, fuck it. It's a shit show. It was like literally in a movie.
I've been just, what's that phrase when it's, try me. When it's like, try me. Go ahead. Say something. Like they were already raring to go. Harley and that illegal parking job was the only thing they needed. It
was because I even said like, I'll pay for it. I'll do whatever. And they just wouldn't let it go,
Yeah.
You know what kind of motorcycle that is? It's a Harley. And I'm like, yeah, it doesn't matter.
Is it a Harley? You haven't mentioned that it's a Harley. Is it a Harley by some chance?
I walk over to it and I stomp on it. Doesn't look like a Harley to me.
This is my thing, a Harley.
I go full alpha male, just try to flip the switch. Walk over there, spit on it. Looks like a bitch-ass Harley to me.
Only queers drive Harleys.
Only queers without helmets drive Harleys. As I'm in my lime green deep V from American Apparel.
You're like real tight jeans.
My beautiful blonde bobbed hair.
But bless that woman's heart. Bless that woman's heart.
Wherever you are, if you're listening, I don't know who you are, where you are, because after the cops, I immediately just wanted to go home and cry. And you saved my life.
But that's exactly what I thought of when Pee Wee knocked over the motorcycles. I was like, Colin knows how that feels.
It's traumatizing, yeah.
Colin knows how the Satan's Helper gang feels when it comes out after your Harley. Yeah, that's what happens to Pee Wee. There's nobody there to run to his aid and spout legal jargon and tell the bikers they're illegally parked. So he has to face the music. And as they're all telling him all the terrible things they're going to do in order for him to die or feel pain, he's like,
wait, don't I get a last request? Why not?
Well, if I'm going to die, I do get a last request. Am I right? And they're like, yes, that's how the system works.
That is,
and
we're
the Satan's helpers.
That's in our contract.
If nothing, if bound by law. So he goes over to the jukebox, borrows these amazing platform shoes from the cooks.
Gorgeous.
And then does a table dance, guys.
He full pennies from heaven. Table dances. And nothing entrances a bunch of bikers like a table dance.
Oh,
and he's
no. I definitely thought pennies from heaven as well, because I was like, this
they've
is
got
full
the same
courtyard of the Macayos.
And it works. Because they do get entranced by it, and they're like, your table dance works. Yes. Don't even worry about knocking all over all of our Harleys. How about we just give you one?
So they go from just murderous rage to just absolute
It's like Garbage Pail Kids when the guy farts and it somehow solves all the problems.
You're right. It's world peace with that disgusting fart.
Oh, Garbage Pail Kids. Oh, geez. If you guys haven't heard, go listen to that episode. Just trust me. Do yourself a favor.
It's so, that movie was offensive to my soul. But yeah, so they take him outside. They've given him a very sweet Harley Davidson vest. They gave him clothes and everything.
Oh yeah, they decked him out.
Sit him on a motorcycle, which I was thinking to myself, we have not seen Pee Wee drive well yet. He's only driven one time and he drove off a cliff. Yeah. So it's very strange that they're putting him on a motorcycle. Well, that is exactly what happens because he takes off and he runs right into a
crashes into him immediately. And I'm like, yeah, well, that makes sense. Destroyed another Harley and his brain. We won't go too much into detail, but when we talk about childhood trauma again, this is a scene that was like terrifying. Even for me watching it now. He's in a coma-like state. He's unconscious. And he's having these dreams about these doctors, and they're all these terrifying clowns. And little trivia, the guy that did Killer Clowns from Outer Space, he made Large Marge, and he had the clown idea for that thing.
Oh,
yes, it's really terrifying. Legit scary. Right. So he wakes up.
I was going to say he's having a dream about, like, he's hurt, but also he's dreaming about his precious bike being hurt. Yeah. So that's the dream. It's like he's in the hospital, but he's dreaming about his bike, and they're trying to do surgery on it, and they just keep taking off their masks, and it's the creepiest faces in the world. Yeah. And then it ends up with the bike getting dropped into hell, and Francis is the devil presiding over hell.
I forgot about that. Yep. It takes a real dark turn. Yeah, that's the worst, unconscious dream you want to have.
So this is kind of where it starts wrapping up, because when he wakes up from his coma, while he's still wearing his bow tie, by the way, in the hospital, on TV, he sees a little boy getting a bike. And it's funny because he's watching a show or a movie, right, in the hospital and sees the bike. But the joke is that in the movie, he's just going to, like, it's happening live somehow. And so he's going to go straight to the studio and get his bike back.
Yeah, because the kid in the movie TV show is getting a bike and he sees that it's his bike. And he's like, holy shit, that's my freaking love of my life. I got to get it right now.
So Pee-wee gets right back on a bus, gets all the way to the Hollywood studios, sneaks onto the lot, pretends to be in the movie, sneaks the bike. There's a huge chase scene.
I mean, the chase scene is iconic because he goes through different, like, movies being made. So he goes through, like...
Oh, that's right.
He goes through all these different sets. So it's like he goes through a Western set and he goes to, like, a Godzilla set. And then he does, like, a Christmas movie set. And it's funny because he's, like, just hauling ass on his precious bitch bike all the way through these different things. And I thought that was pretty funny because it was, like, old school, like, actual sets.
Yes, like going through. And at one point, there's the Santa sleigh.
Yeah, does that mean he goes to like a Christmas movie? So he's just hauling ass and he's riding his bike. He's got it back. The whole thing is wonderful, right? It's already a beautiful ending. But then he saves this pet store that's on fire. But when I say pet store, there's literally like chimpanzees and snakes.
I put that in my notes. I was like, there's full monkeys in this pet store.
You can't just go and buy a monkey. Maybe in Oklahoma. Maybe Tiger King status. You can just go get a monkey if you want it.
Or Chimp Crazy. There was that. Did you watch that HBO documentary?
Rips off her face. Oh. Woo.
Yeah.
I do. I would not. I love all animals so much, but sometimes you just gotta know that
they're still animals.
So he decides that he's got to stop and save all these animals because of Pee-wee. At the end of the day, it's like, come on. He saves all the animals right before the explosion, and he wakes up again, and he's a hero.
He ends back up at the studio that he took the bike back from, and they want to make a movie about him.
Yes, because he became a hero. They're like, tell us your story. He tells, they're like, shit, get this on screen right now.
Right as they're closing up the meeting with the movie executive, Dottie shows up out of nowhere to deliver the bike that got lost during the animal rescue.
Someone's pimped the bike during the animal rescue. Jesus, Pee-wee's he just goes in to save animals, and they're like, I'm going to steal that bike.
My story?
A movie?
Okay.
Yes, Mr. Hawthorne.
My bike!
Pee-wee!
Daddy!
She wants to kiss him, though. The reason I brought this up is because she tries to kiss him, and he again is like, this is disgusting. Just give me the fucking bike. I don't give a shit about you.
So, we have a deal?
So then we fast forward, and they're at the drive-in. And this is where we're reunited with every person we met along the way. We're reunited with the hobo. We're reunited with the person who escaped from Mickey, who escaped from
the whole cast and crew is there.
Everybody's there, and they're watching the version of the movie of Pee Wee Herman of his life. So it's Josh Brolin is the hero. Morgan, what's her name? Fairchild.
Yeah, she's the funny one from like Airplane and everything. Yeah, the characters are just like wildly like very like Bond and all of that.
Yes, it's very much a James Bond movie. And then Pee-wee has a cameo in the movie, and they've dubbed his voice with like a really deep voice.
Have you got any messages for room 104? The name's Herman. P.W. Herman.
No, nothing right now, Mr. Herman.
Yeah, that's the very end of the movie.
Mr. Herman?
He plays like a bellboy, and they dub his voice, and I did think that was pretty funny.
The one thing that I'm going to say is he's at the drive-in with Dottie. It does feel platonic. She's very dressed up, but it still feels platonic. And then she goes, "Did you get my candy?" And he starts laughing, and he puts his hands in both of his pockets and then just pulls out a bunch of loose candies and just throws them at her. And I'm like, this is such a weird
I think it's like you can't. What would they going to do? He's going to go and just slam one on her, just start making out with her and feeling her up. Like Pee-wee can't. I know. I don't know why I said slam one on her, but like Pee-wee's not just going to start like smashing. Like that would ruin his whole character. He's got to be like, no, don't want to do this.
But to chuck loose candies, like he didn't pull out like a candy package. He just pulled out loose candies.
And that was a very nice thing of Dottie to do, and that was kind of disrespectful. Like in a normal world, Pee-wee's behavior would be kind of annoying. It'd be really annoying and not fun, but in this world, it's fun.
So the last shot you see is them, because she's like, well, don't you want to stay and see the rest of the movie? And he's like,
come on, Dottie, let's go.
Let's go. Don't you want to see the rest of the movie?
I don't have to see it, Dottie. I lived it.
No, I already know how it ends. I lived it. So then you see their little bike silhouettes like go in front of the drive-in theater as they drive to their respective destinies. But that's
Pee-wee.
it. That's
It's a good movie. I liked it. I
was
had
cute.
fun. Okay, that's it.
Oh, I thought you looked like you were getting ready to say something, so I was just politely waiting for you to say that.
Do you ever watch Sunny in Philadelphia?
I've seen it, but I don't watch it like regularly.
There's just a scene where she goes up to do stand-up.
Oh, stand-up comedy when she gags.
Yes, and it just every time I see that scene, it makes me die laughing. I think it's the funniest thing. Comic genius. So that's Pee-wee's Big Adventure. Like I said at the beginning, didn't know anything about it going in. Thought it was going to be a lot more silly and kid-like. And it is, but also in a fun, like adults can watch it too type of way. And it definitely was. Until the end of the movie, I thought someone was going to bully him. But nope, it's all about
I was going to say,
kinda...
all I was expecting was bullies, and that just never happened.
But it's got kind of a sweet message.
I was pleasantly surprised.
Just everyone's, except for the guy with the dinosaur bone who was... And some of the bikers who wanted to kill him. Other than that, everyone gets along, very happy, be who you want to be, and I thought it was pretty cute.
And contraptions make your life better. Might take you a little longer to get your breakfast, but you'll have a great time doing it.
And I learned that they need to definitely make Mr. T.O.'s.
Like we said, we chose it because people had like very deep memories of Large Marge and being scared by Large Marge.
And the clown doctors.
And the clowns, yeah. So that's why we chose it. And we're happy we did because we saw it and we liked it. And it was a weird adventure and was unexpected for us in every way. So yeah.
We'll Pee-wee see you later.
Good one. Bye. And so I edited some out and it was fine, but...
Well, you just gave away all your secrets because you're live. Hot mic, hot mic.
Hot mic.
You killed all those people, Colin. What did you do?
What else?